Salam, Real intervyu efirdədir. Azərbaycan-Pakistan münasibətləri yeni mərhələyə qədəm qoyur və bu münasibətlər mütəmadi olaraq inkişaf edir, genişlənir, möhkəmlənir və elə bu yaxınlarda Pakistanın yeni seçilmiş baş naziri Şahbaz Şərifi Azərbaycan prezidenti İlham Əliyev baş nazir seçilməsi münasibəti ilə təbrik etdi və şübhəsiz ki, bu iki ölkələrimiz arasında münasibətlərin artıq yeni fazasından, yeni hədəflərdən xəbər verir. Eləcə də yəni iki tərəfli münasibətlərdən savayı Pakistanda bugün baş verən hadisələr və qarşıda olan hədəflərlə bağlı Pakistanın ölkəmizdəki fövqəladə və səlahiyyətli səfiri cənab B.Hayee ilə söhbətləşəcəyik. His Excellency, hello and thank you for time.
Thank you very much. It's an honor always and a pleasure to talk to you.
Mr. Ambassador, we have a lot of questions exactly about our bilateral relations, also about the situation in Pakistan, and I would like to begin from the elections, because I mentioned before, new Prime Minister of Pakistan was elected and President Ilham Aliyev congratulated him. And after that, what are the new goals of the country after this process?
Yes, thank you very much. As you mentioned that Pakistan has just completed the process of democratic transition in the country. We are a parliamentary democracy and our general elections were held in February this year,
yes.
In which 61 million citizens of Pakistan exercised their right to vote. So this is a very big number. As you can imagine, Pakistan is a very large democracy, and after the elections, the Prime Minister, the Parliament was elected, and then the Parliament has elected its leader, which is called the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Muhammad Shehbaz Sharif was elected by the National Assembly of Pakistan, and later on the new President has also been elected by the Parliament, which is again a constitutional head in the country. So now with the election of these August offices, the democratic transition process is complete. The new government is in place to start the affairs of the state. Now the priorities as identified by the new Prime Minister, who is now the head of a coalition government. He has the support of other political parties in the National Assembly, and it is the consensus opinion and view of the coalition government that our first priority would be to consolidate the economy, the economic situation of the country. As you know, Pakistan is an economy of almost $350 billion US, but there is potential to more than double this economy in the next few years. And that is the priority of the government, the current government, how to reduce the fiscal deficit in the government, how to increase the revenues of the government through increasing taxes, through increasing the exports. So the purpose is really the priority, the first priority as identified by the new Prime Minister of Pakistan is to consolidate and strengthen the economy of the country. And then of course, as economy improves, the government is taking measures to talk to the friendly countries, including Azerbaijan, to increase investments in Pakistan. As you know, Pakistan is blessed with huge mineral reserves. We have estimates of over $6 trillion of mineral reserves in the Balochistan and other areas of Pakistan, and the government is trying, there is a new organization which is called Special Investment Facilitation Council, SIFC, which is jointly chaired, which is chaired by the Prime Minister, and it is supported and assisted by the Chief of Army Staff. So we have the support of all the institutions of the country in this SIFC to attract investments from friendly countries, because that will be a win-win situation for all countries who come and invest in Pakistan. And SIFC has identified several areas, including agriculture, including mining, including defense, including information technology. These are the priority areas, and also energy, in which the investments can yield tremendous benefits for the foreign investment. And we are very happy that Azerbaijan, the government of Azerbaijan has shown interest in coming and exploring the opportunities. So the government is very keen to look forward to this relationship.
You mentioned about the economical relation between two countries. And exactly, I will repeat the level of Pakistan-Azerbaijan relations at the new stage, and in which areas the opportunities are explored today.
Yes, as you mentioned rightly, that the priority of the two sides, the leaders in their letters to each other have identified the areas of interest for two sides, and that include bilateral trade, investment, cooperation in information technology, in defense, and also in people-to-people exchanges. You would recall that last year in June 2023, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who was also at that time the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, was in the office. He visited Baku and had very productive meetings with the President of Azerbaijan, His Excellency Ilham Aliyev, and the two leaders discussed all aspects, all spheres of our relationship, ranging from defense to energy to information technology to people-to-people exchanges to investment to bilateral trade. And we are very happy that the bilateral trade between Pakistan and Azerbaijan has been consistently increasing. In the last 3 years, our bilateral trade has more than doubled. But still we feel that there is enough room, a lot of room to further increase this trade, because this is still not realizing the full potential. So the two sides, our technical ministries, the Ministry of Commerce from Pakistan and the Ministry of Economy from the Azerbaijani side, they are discussing various areas, including various MOUs, which will help to further boost our bilateral trade. So the current discussion is on preferential trade agreement between the two countries, and also the transit trade agreement between Pakistan and Azerbaijan, which will help further increase our bilateral trade. We also think that there are opportunities for Pakistani companies to come and invest in the liberated areas. There is a lot of reconstruction going on in there.
It was my next question.
Yes, and we are sharing that information with our people and companies in Pakistan. So I think these are the areas where both sides can benefit.
Liberated areas.
Yes.
Okay. Azerbaijani servicemen, military forces, participated in the military parade held on the occasion of Pakistan National Day. And what message did it convey to the world today?
Now, first of all, we are very thankful and grateful to the brotherly Azerbaijan that they sent their contingent, very smart and efficient contingent, to participate in the national military parade in Pakistan, which happens every year on 23rd March, which is the National Day of Pakistan. This year, amongst the foreign countries, brotherly Azerbaijan and our dear friend from China, Chinese contingent was also there. So the participation of these two foreign troops, foreign contingents in the Pakistan National Day parade was a message of support and friendship of these two countries with Pakistan. Especially we are grateful that Azerbaijan has also sent contingents in the past in the National Day parade of Pakistan, and that shows that not only our defense cooperation is very strong, it is increasing, but also this shows that the militaries of the two countries are ready to exchange information, exchange experiences, especially in the field of training, in the field of improvement of the efficiency, the combat operations. So this is an ongoing cooperation between the military authorities of the two countries, and also participation of the contingent of Azerbaijan in the military parades shows the support of Azerbaijan to Pakistan, and we reciprocate this support for Azerbaijan.
My next question about the Kashmir, and Kashmir is still occupied by India. And what steps Pakistan taking regarding the specific solution of this issue? And could you please give us description what happened today in Kashmir, because we know they haven't internet, they're all blockade, and exactly what steps taking by Pakistan also in this case?
As you mentioned you asked about the situation in Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir is one of the oldest international disputes now active on the UN agenda. It is very sad that this issue has not been resolved despite several UN resolutions on this issue. and also the resolutions of the UN Security Council. So unfortunately, because of the stubbornness, because of the intransigence, because of the consistent denial of Indian government to resolve this issue, the problem still persists. Now the UN resolutions, multiple resolutions, tell us the solution of the Jammu and Kashmir, and that is the holding of a free and fair plebiscite. Plebiscite is a kind of referendum in which the people of that state will determine about their future. And this option, this prerogative was given to them by the international community, by the United Nations Security Council, by the permanent member of the UN Security Council, which do not change with time. So all the international major players, they were guarantors of this promise to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Unfortunately, because of the intransigence of the Indian government, these resolutions have not been implemented. Now, as you mentioned about the present context in occupied Jammu and Kashmir, we see there are huge restrictions on the right to protest, right to assembly, right to propagate, right to discuss the freedom options by the Kashmiri leaders. And many Kashmiri leaders are still under arrest, under incarceration. They are not allowed to speak. International observers are not allowed to visit Jammu and Kashmir occupied areas, because Indian forces are scared that once the international observers will visit occupied Kashmir, they will see the brutalities of the Indian forces which is taking place against the innocent civilians. The problem is that because India is a big market for many countries, the pressure and the approach of the international community is not that strong, which should have been the case. And it is a pity that unfortunately, despite the blatant violations of human rights situation in the occupied Kashmir, despite the continued violations of international norms, including the UN resolutions, the pressure on India is still not that strong. We continue to push India, to press India, to encourage them to honor the commitments, because this was the commitment not only given by the international partners but also by the Indian government. They were also present in the UN Security Council debate, and they also agreed to those resolutions. So it is very unfortunate, and presently what India is doing, again, I think this is a violation of the Geneva Conventions, that they are trying to change the demography in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir is the only state in the Indian government which has majority Muslims, and now the Indian government is trying to dilute this Muslim majority. They are bringing the non-Kashmiris from outside Kashmir and they are settling them in the Jammu and Kashmir state with a view to dilute the Muslim majority, which is against the violation of the Geneva Convention. So we call upon the Indian government to respect and honor the international norms, international law, because they claim to be a big democracy, they claim to be a large democracy, but unfortunately they don't respect the international law. So it is very important that Indian government respects the norms of international law as far as the state of Jammu and Kashmir is concerned.
But how they, Indian government explain the situation in Kashmir in international platforms?
They in fact always shy away from explaining this situation. For many years, international rapporteurs of the United Nations, international rapporteurs of the OIC have been requesting for a visit to the state of occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and Indian government always disallows that visit.
Okay.
In fact, the OIC observers for Kashmir, they have been visiting the Kashmir, the Azad Kashmir, the liberated Kashmir. They come and visit every year, but they are always denied the visit to the occupied Jammu and Kashmir. And that shows that everything is not right. As you and many people know, that today the occupied Jammu and Kashmir is the highest militarized zone on earth. There is almost 1 million Indian troops deployed in the occupied valley.
1 million.
1 million, which is a huge number. Almost
huge
for
number, exactly.
7-8 citizens, there is one soldier there. And you can imagine in that environment, there is total suffocation. Nobody can think of the basic fundamental rights in this highly militarized situation, in which those military personnel have rights, unfettered rights. They can do anything, any violation with the innocent people without any accountability, and that is why this sense of impunity has encouraged those Indian military personnel to continue to violate the human rights of the poor Kashmiri people.
Today, India prefers military cooperation with Armenia, and it's that country which refuse peace process in South Caucasus. I mean, peace process between Azerbaijan and Armenia. And don't you think this is clearly a threat to peace in the world?
We know that India,
because we have evidence about the military cooperation.
Yes, there is now. It is no longer a secret that India, along with some other countries, are providing weapons to Armenia. Now, from Pakistan's perspective, we consider South Caucasus as a very important region. South Caucasus is in fact an important international trade corridor, international hub for international trade corridors. The Middle Corridor, Trans-Caspian International Trade Corridor, crosses through this region. North-South Corridor crosses through that region. So we see that the potential of South Caucasus should be positively harnessed, and all efforts should be geared towards resolving the disputes, to suppress the conflict and not to prolong the conflict. Unfortunately, certain countries are trying on the other direction. They are trying to keep the conflict alive, which is, I think, very unfortunate, and it is against the interest of the people of this region. Pakistan has always supported the initiatives and the efforts of Azerbaijan to sign a peace treaty with Armenia, to normalize relations, and also to open communication corridors which will bring prosperity and peace to the entire region. Not only Azerbaijan will be the beneficiary of this thing, but also Armenia and other countries of the region. So this is very important, that all efforts should be geared towards bringing peace, and we should oppose all efforts, such efforts which try to prolong the conflict.
Prolong the conflict, yes. Mr. Ambassador, thank you for interview, thank you for your comments, and we hope increase our bilateral relation in all fields exactly, and we hope solve the Kashmir problem as soon as possible by the international community.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
My pleasure. Və bizim həmsöhbətimiz Pakistanın Azərbaycandakı fövqəladə və səlahiyyətli səfiri BILAL B.Hayee idi. Salamat qalın.